So speaking of illegal voting, now this is a good segue into our show here this week. We got the top 5 movies that should have won the Oscar but did not.
Yeah,
So
and are what we think that should have won the Oscars.
exactly, yeah. So I know you had a pretty long list, like out of the 80 something years, you basically half of them, right?
Yeah, a little over half.
Okay. Did you make a long list?
Like 53%.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what I did, I think I kind of explained it on a message to you, but I went through all the ones that I rank high in, like, that I give a movies I gave a 10 out of 10 to that did not win. And then I went back and looked at how big the disparity was of the ones that did win. The ones that I give them the lowest grade, like how wide the margin was, and that's kind of what made my top 5. Because otherwise, there was plenty where an example would be like in '94 Forrest Gump won, and I give that movie a 10, but I also give Shawshank a 10. And even though I think that movie should have won, there's not much of a margin there. So that's kind of how I went with mine.
Yeah, I basically did the same thing. What I did was I looked at, like what movies that I really liked that I thought it should have won.
Yeah.
And then I compared leaderboards with it.
Letterbox.
Yeah, Letterbox's ranking to the one that I think should have won to the one that did win.
Okay. So you went interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I more or less ranked them like the ones that would have gotten the higher vote than even the ones that I picked.
Okay. So you went kind of a slightly different route using their rankings instead of your own. So yeah, that being said, and I guess I'll go first because I think you did last week. But the ones that are my 3 through 5, the movies that won that year, I actually didn't see, but I didn't see them for a reason. Because so I probably would give them a low grade if I do see them, is my thinking.
Right, and there was a couple of movies that I would have said,
yeah,
but I think you're going to do them anyway.
Okay, all right.
So
We'll see.
So I'm thinking that we may not have no likes on this one.
It's possible. Yeah, we may have none in common. So okay, my number 5 is a movie we talked about last week, actually.
Again.
Yes. Dead Poets Society, 1989. It lost to Driving Miss Daisy, which I honestly don't recall if I've seen. I think I've seen parts of it, maybe.
Yeah, I saw the movie, but I saw the movie maybe 2 years after it came out. I think I watched it on HBO or something.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's probably an okay movie. Morgan Freeman is always great, and I know a lot of people loved it at the time. But to me, Dead Poets Society is a classic that has so much rewatchability. I mean, we talked about it last week, but I give that movie a 10 out of 10. And Driving Miss Daisy, I could see maybe giving it a 6 at the highest, even if I somewhat enjoy it, if I do see it. So yeah, that's my 5. So what's your 5?
All right, my 5 is going to be a little more controversial.
Okay.
Only because the
Letterboxd, yes.
Never remember. I'm on that site every day writing reviews, so I'm never going to remember the day of the day.
Yeah.
We're very close.
Okay.
My movie I picked was only like 2/10 of a point higher.
Okay.
Uh, but money wise, I believe my pick made more money.
Okay. You're adding that factor. Okay.
And was more popular.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the year was 1983. The movie that won was Gandhi.
Okay.
Now, this was a totally boring movie. I watched this movie once. It
Yeah.
was too long. They could have cut it down to 45 minutes. Really.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah.
So it wasn't like I didn't like the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but the Academy has a tendency to vote for these
Like these
mega
epic,
long,
yeah,
epic
and
movies.
biopics. Yeah.
But there's also a lot of epic movies that didn't win, like
Sure.
Ben-Hur and things like that.
Right.
I don't think the Ten Commandments won either, but usually they go for like these epic things,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
So what should have won that year, in your opinion?
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that was nominated that year, but yeah, that's I get just the fact that they nominated a sci-fi movie was a big step for them, probably.
Yes,
Yeah,
which is why they said, okay, we'll give them the nomination,
yeah,
just to throw them some breadcrumbs.
right, right.
But
Okay,
probably Spielberg they probably made Spielberg happy, but he
yeah,
wasn't. He still didn't get the Oscar on that time.
right, right. Yeah, that's a pretty good pick. I probably I'd have to check my letterboxd grades, but I probably rate those movies about at least close. But I definitely see what you mean about Gandhi. It was long, even though I mean, I thought Ben Kingsley was amazing in it. His acting performance.
Well, they probably gave him the Oscar because he had to lose so much weight for the
Yeah.
movie. They do things like that too.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
the guy was suffering, although they didn't give the what's his name in Castaway, you
Oh,
know,
Hanks. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
for losing weight. But I guess because they already did that one for Gandhi, they're not going to give it to somebody else.
Right. Right. Okay.
Who knows how they think?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this segues good into my number four. Uh, because I went with also a Spielberg movie from 1981. I went with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I thought that was 82, but okay.
I think it was 81. That's what I wrote down, but it lost to Chariots of Fire, which is
Yeah,
another movie that I have not seen.
I saw that too. It was boring.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be, and especially compared to Raiders of the
I
Lost
mean,
Ark.
just go by the theme song.
Yeah, exactly. It
For
makes you
Charlie.
feel like you're running in slow motion just
Yeah,
listening
right.
to it.
Well, yeah, the guy was already a slow motion too. Yes,
Yeah.
I had that pick also was higher up.
Oh, okay. So we do have one in common. Yeah,
Yes,
I thought you might pick that one, but yeah, I mean, again, based on the Academy, it's almost a miracle that they even nominated Raiders because they're, especially back then, they weren't in the habit of nominating action adventure movies for Best Picture.
right. If my year was right, it was the year before the E.T. Gandhi thing.
Right. Yeah. So they snubbed Spielberg twice in a row.
Right, and they had two boring movies in a row.
Yes. Good, good. Okay, so what's your number four?
My number four is 1997, The English Patient.
Ah, okay. Another long, boring movie, right?
Yes, another long, boring movie, which I only saw once,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I
uh,
didn't see it.
I believe it was on HBO too. I didn't see it in the movie. It was like a love story. the guy gets injured in the war and stuff like that. It was a romance. The movie that I picked that should have won was
Mhm.
Fargo.
Ah, yeah. Oh, good choice. Yeah. Yeah, I love Fargo. That's yeah, definitely. I mean, no question.
Yeah, yeah,
That should have won.
Fargo English Patient.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
crazy, man.
you know,
Yeah, it's
you don't even need to look up the scores on that one.
right. Yeah. And that's another thing that the Academy does is it takes them years usually to catch up to certain directors like the Coen brothers were still I mean by this point they were solidified to most moviegoers, but it took them until I think like the late 2000s to win for No Country for Old Men, which is another great movie, but it seems Academy is always a little bit of a popularity contest as well, and it takes them a while to warm up to certain people, I think. So yeah, but good pick. That's a good one. All right. So that did not make my list, but now my next one at 3 is another one that I know will not be on your list. And we have talked about this in recent episodes. Midnight in Paris
Yes, I knew you were going to do that one.
from 2011. This is the movie that won was The Artist, which is another movie I haven't seen. And this one has the possibility of me enjoying because it's like a black and white ode to silent films. But I don't know, just based on the reviews alone, are very lukewarm. It doesn't seem like something that would be that great.
Yeah, that was a movie that I did not see.
Yeah.
I was going to do that movie also, but I
Hmm.
was going to pick Moneyball over.
Yeah.
But I saw that Midnight in Paris was there, and I'm going, Johnny's going to do that one.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's one of my favorite of all time.
I know it is.
Uh,
Yeah,
so yeah, you knew I was gonna have it. Yeah, you are
but that
you are
was
correct.
but that was another good movie. Also, that would have beaten The Artist.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what's your number 3?
My number 3 was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ah, okay, cool. That may be our only one in common. I'm thinking, but
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
yeah, I mean, still, I know we've talked about that movie a few times before, but I mean, it's as an action adventure movie, it stands as probably, if not one of the best, the best. So come on, Academy. What the hell?
I know.
So okay, now my number 2, now it gets interesting because these my top 2 are movies that I have seen, the ones that won as well as the one that lost. So my number 2 was 2009, and the movie that won was The Hurt Locker, which
Ah,
I found to be kind of boring.
I know.
Uh,
I know what you're going to say.
Inglorious
Yes,
Bastards.
bastards.
Yes. Which to me it's I don't want to because we'll probably get to Tarantino eventually. I don't want to say how high I rank it of his movies, but
Right.
definitely one of his best. He even says like gives a little hint at him thinking that's his masterpiece at the end of the movie. And I mean, so great. Christoph Waltz was amazing. He won Best Supporting Actor as the villain. Brad Pitt was great as the lead bastard, and I mean, it's just got everything to love about Tarantino and then some, in my opinion. And it definitely should have won.
Yeah, I had that on my list too, but I didn't pick it because I knew you were going to do
Ah,
it.
you inglorious bastard!
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so
Actually, the my 6, 7, and 8 was.
yeah,
Oh, wait a second. You didn't do that one yet. But you might. But
uh
yeah, I
huh,
did the Hurt Locker and the Artist, and another one that definitely should have been, but that I didn't do also because I figured that you
Hmm.
possibly would do that one.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So what's your number two?
My number two is The Year Was a Beautiful Mind, which I
Okay.
which I saw that movie, and it was a great movie.
Hmm. Yeah, it was not bad.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
it wasn't, I don't think it was like an amazing movie.
no, but who was the actor in that?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe. And he did a really good job in
Right.
that movie.
Hmm.
Uh, but the movie that should have won,
Hmm.
which was an epic movie,
Yeah.
which, the Academy likes at times.
Sure.
But the problem was it wasn't a boring movie.
Okay.
Okay. The Fellowship of the Ring.
Ah, I thought you might have one of those on yours. They did end up winning for Return of the King, right?
Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah, which was the third year.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Fellowship is actually my favorite of the three movies. So that's a good pick, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
I mean, based on Tolkien's first book,
Hmm.
set up the other two books.
Right.
I think part of the problem is the way it ended, but that's the way it ended in the book too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you
They
know,
stayed faithful
it
to
was
it.
it was a literary masterpiece.
Yep.
Jackson brought it to the screen, phenomenally. Yeah, I mean, the movie used a lot of special effects and stuff,
Hmm.
even with like ranging, the different heights between a hobbit, a dwarf, and
Yeah.
a regular person and stuff.
Yep.
But it kept to the story pretty much, and he had to do the special effects because people have tried it beforehand
Right.
multiple times, even
Yeah.
in cartoon form.
Hmm.
Uh, but it didn't work.
Right.
It worked for Jackson, and it was a popular movie. Made a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah, and the CGI was really well done and still holds up. And I think that and the way that it was filmed with the big overhead shots, like in the landscape of New Zealand and everything, um, I think that opened up doors for a lot of other filmmakers to do. I mean, so many movies rip off what he did in that now,
Yeah,
but yeah, this is another one of those perfect examples of the Academy saying like, "Oh, well, we'll just wait till the last one to give him his award." That it feels
yeah,
like that's what they did.
right. But they didn't do that with The Godfather. Godfather
No.
1, Godfather 2 won. Godfather 3 didn't win. And
Yep.
probably Godfather 3 shouldn't have won because even though it closed off the series, it was probably the weakest of the
Yeah.
Godfather movies.
Right.
But
Right.
they should have had the three-peat.
Well,
But
that's a good point. Yeah. Well, that was a tough year too, if I remember correctly. Was that 1990? Uh,
uh,
because
so,
that was that year I have as an honorable mention, because if it is 1990, Dances with Wolves won.
yeah, Dances with Wolves did win.
Yeah. And I thought actually that Goodfellas should have won that year, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But because Dances with Wolves was a great movie, um, there wasn't a large enough disparity on the way I ranked them that I didn't put it on my top five.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there was a lot of good movies that
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was a tough year.
Awakenings,
Right.
which we talked about last week,
Exactly.
and you said Ghost.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Dances with Wolves. But
Yeah,
again,
all good movies.
Dances with Wolves was, again, epic movie.
Epic,
It
right.
did have some boring parts to it,
Yeah.
but uh, it was a good movie, and it was Costner
Yeah.
also. You know,
Right.
and Costner is dry. You
Yeah.
know,
But he's a critical darling to the Academy.
yeah,
You
I
know.
know. But even when he gets excited, there's no excitement.
Yeah, but so yeah, that I wanted to mention that one. I'm sure you'll have some honorable mentions at the end of this too. But so okay, number one, here we go.
Okay, number one.
So this one is the most recent. Um, I'm gonna give you some hints since you think you know what it is.
Okay,
It's also the most controversial as in the news when this happened. It was 2016, and Warren Beatty, I believe, read the winner, and he read it wrong because it came out that they gave him the wrong envelope,
okay,
and he read the winner as La La Land, which
okay,
which should have won, but then he came back and said, "Oh no, wait, Moonlight is the winner." And then it was like pure chaos. and and it turned out that Moonlight was the actual winner. And I was like, "What? You got to be kidding me, man! Like La La Land should have been the clear winner, even though." Uh, I know we've talked about this. I'm not really into musicals, but I love La La Land. I thought it was so well done. Moonlight was a movie that it was okay. Like I respect what it was trying to do, and I think it accomplished what it did. And the acting was really strong. Mahershala Ali was great, especially. But it's it's not a movie I would ever watch again. It was depressing and even pretentious in moments. I thought. But La La Land, on the other hand, is a movie that, because I don't normally like musicals and I love this one, I love it that much more. And the music in it was so good. The score by I think it's Josh Hurwitz. Um, very a lot of jazz music in it was great. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone were amazing. So yeah, that's my number one.
all right. Well, you know that I didn't like La La Land.
Yes, I do know that.
It was
So
one of the few movies I think I turned off like after 15 minutes. Maybe if I watched the whole thing, I would have liked it.
yeah, well, do you know the first 15 minutes, I was kind of like, oh boy, this is another musical. There's girls singing about going out and having fun. But once it gets to Gosling and him playing the piano in the nightclub, I don't know if you made it that far in, that's when it hooked me, because then I was like, oh, some real cool music here. And he played piano in the movie, by the way, which
Yeah.
is pretty impressive.
No, I don't think I made it that far.
Ah, you got to give it another chance, man.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it another chance.
But before we do our top five musicals one day, give it a chance.
But yeah, there was other movies that I liked that year.
Hmm.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Arrival was a really good sci-fi movie.
Yep.
Uh, and also Lion came out. I didn't see that.
Lion was really good.
Uh,
Also more deserving than Moonlight, I thought.
yeah, but I didn't see Moonlight, so I really can't, you know,
Yeah.
talk about it that much. But
Yeah, it's not like I can't say that any movie that I've gone through the whole list that won the Academy Award is like outright bad. Uh, but you know, Moonlight is just okay in my opinion. So so you didn't think I would have that as my number one?
uh, I thought you were going to do that. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was going to be your number one.
Okay. Well, what is your number one, sir?
I think you would. The year 2003, the movie that won was Chicago, a musical.
Yes. Okay. I think I know where this is going.
Yes. So the movie that should have won was The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
I can't believe you, knowing that you never do two of the same thing. I'm very shocked that you did this.
So, in my opinion, it should have been a three-peat
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
for The Lord of the Rings. They should have won every year. There was not anything that came close to the competition. And I know you didn't like the third one that much
Right.
because it did have a long, drawn-out ending to it.
Multiple long drawn out endings, yes.
Right, but up until the ending point, which was all like the goodbye scenes and stuff like that, that was an
Yeah.
action-packed movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, I wasn't big on Chicago either, so I can see where you would pick this. And you know, it introduces
Yeah. This
Gollum.
this was a gangster musical,
Yeah.
Chicago. That probably the only one reason why it won was because they had tons of uh, high paid actors in the thing.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that on it. Like as far as musicals go, like La La Land, I can instantly think of several of the songs like City of Stars or the main piano song. I can't even tell you what the songs were in Chicago if you put a gun to my head. So, yeah.
No
Okay.
pun,
Well,
no pun on the gangster.
yeah, exactly. Well, this is going to be interesting to put together now. Because what we both had Raiders, but not that high, but that's our only one in common. But so should we put that as our one if we both had it, or
I mean, that's what we've basically been doing. So I think we have no choice.
all right, that feels worthy of number one. So now we're really gonna have to look at Letterboxd, I guess, to figure out the rest of this. Two Towers versus La La Land. This is gonna be nuts.
I know.
Okay. All right, let's check it out. La La Land has a 4.0 on Letterboxd. Let's see, Lord of the Rings. Two Towers has a 4.3, so you win on that one. All right. So I'm going to put Two Towers at 2 and La La Land at 3.
Right now, our
Now
two.
our twos. So you had Fellowship. Peter Jackson's getting some love on this list. And wait, what did I have it to again? Oh, Inglorious Bastards.
Right. Now, this is going to be really close. I would think.
Probably, yeah. All right, Inglorious Bastards has a 4.3.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to beat.
I don't know. The Lord of the Rings is pretty beloved. I don't believe it. 4.4.
Yes!
Unreal. Okay.
See, that's why they should have gotten the Academy Awards. Come on,
Yeah.
a 4.4 and a 4.3.
Oh, wait a minute. I looked at the wrong movie.
Oh,
I pulled a Moonlight.
oh my God.
I looked at Return of the King's grade. Let me look
Oh,
at Fellowship of the Ring.
okay.
Oh, also a 4.3. It's a tie.
Wow.
So, you know what? I'll still give it to you
Okay.
because that way every other one is a Peter Jackson movie. It's not two in a row on the list. That looks
Yeah,
better.
but you saw how high they were, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how could they not lose?
Yeah. I can see your point. So, okay, before I read the list, I'm going to just mention a couple other honorable mentions on mine. I think I said Goodfellas, I said Shawshank. I'm kind of surprised that you didn't have this one.
Right. Well,
19,
it's on my honorable mention.
okay, 1979, Apocalypse Now, Lost. to Kramer versus Kramer, which I've seen that and I was kind of like, okay,
Yeah, I
not,
saw that. I, s- I was working in the movie theater when that came out. I saw Kramer versus Kramer
yeah.
too many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
you're right.
it's,
No, there was like I could have done at least 25 easily based on the criteria that I
yeah,
was doing, with the thing. Uh,
right.
so yeah, I mean, if I went back farther, I would have
Hmm.
definitely picked that.
Yeah, yeah, that was one like what? Especially how much work went into making Apocalypse Now.
Right.
And
Actually,
it's
Redux is better, but
yeah, yeah, that's true. And
the
then
parts that they left out were crucial to the movie, especially the ending of the movie.
right, yeah. But amazing film. And then two others that I wanted to point out is The Sixth Sense lost to American Beauty. I think that was 99. Which American Beauty was like are okay, but Sixth Sense is like amazing. And
Right.
then Saving Private Ryan lost to Shakespeare in Love, which I know you probably are okay with that one,
Yes.
but I thought Ryan was better. So
Yeah. Uh, probably, yeah. I think they probably gave they would have again. It's another Spielberg movie.
yeah,
The Academy like hated Spielberg. I mean, he only won. I think he won for Schindler's List.
yes, I think that's the only one.
Right, best director. I don't think that was. Was it also best?
I think it won Best Picture as well.
Did it? Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, for the most part, he was being shunned for
Hmm.
movies and stuff like that because
Yeah.
he was making popular movies.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel good about having him at the number one spot. So, all right, let's read the official list. Here we
Uh,
go. At number five, oh, and I'll say what it is again. The top five movies that should have won the Best Picture Academy Award. All right, at number five, Inglorious Bastards. At number five, or number four, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. At number three, La La Land. At number two, The Lord of the Rings again, The Two Towers. And at number one, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you can deny Raiders of the Lost Ark as number one. It's probably the most watched movie multiple times ever.
Now, based on what you said, I'm never going to watch Chariots of Fire. Screw that movie, man.
There was one other one that I thought you were going to mention,
Yeah.
The Shape of Water.
Oh, yes.
And I
Definitely one
figured
that
that,
did not deserve to win.
right, and I figured that you would have picked Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, for sure that would have been the case that year. But yeah, I just didn't love Three Billboards that much. I thought it was great, but yeah,
Anything had to be better than Shape of Water.
yeah, Shape of Water, man, I don't get it. That's one of those that yeah,
I
that
know,
there's tons of movies that won that it's just like
right.
what?
I mean, Darkest Hour was a decent movie.
Uh-huh.
It was about the invasion of Europe. When the Luftwaffe, uh,
Hmm.
you know, was invading Europe, and you know,
Right, right.
but that I mean England, and uh, then the RAF fought them off.
Right, right.
But
Yeah, there was tons that deserved probably more than that one.
Phantom Thread. Now I saw that Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Lady Bird was okay. The Post was really good.
Yeah, The Post was really good.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah. That the way that he was able to make that movie exciting was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I probably would have picked out of all of those, I probably would have taken the Post over it.
yeah,
To
yeah,
say,
anything but that. But that was such a weird movie, man. But all right, well that was good. So next week, I know we're getting low on the following items. We could either do a decades, which would either be the 30s or the 70s. We could do a director, or we could do genre, which I know you mentioned horror recently. That could be interesting because there's a lot of horror movies coming out right now for whatever reason. I guess because Halloween is coming up,
oh, probably.
but that could be a good one.
Yeah, we could do horror.
All right, and for this, I mean, there's there's so many categories within horror, like there's slasher and all that stuff. I'm okay with it being broad. I mean, you may even have to go look at how Letterbox defines some movies, because some are like horror slash adventure, but I,
Yeah, I mean, there's psychological horror movies too.
yeah, thrillers, right?
Yeah,
So
the problem though with the horror movies is there are a lot of sequels.
that's true, yeah. So
You
yeah,
know,
well,
even with the current one, not even talking about the old ones. Actually, I'm trying to think of a horror movie that never had a sequel.
I can think of one because we've talked about it. The Shining. Oh no, wait, they did have a
Never
sequel.
sequel.
Dang it! Recently.
It took them 20 years. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
man, you. That's a very good point. Because even Psycho, they had sequels on that as well, or
yeah,
prequels or whatever.
yeah. So I mean, just based on you know the fact of saying The Shining and Psycho, which most likely would probably be in the top five, which we've already done before.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe we shouldn't do horror. Maybe we should do 70s.
All right, 70s would be
Yeah,
cool.
we haven't done what's it called. Now, the thing is, should we break it down like to maybe like split the 70s, like do early 70s?
We could do that. 70
Only
through
because, only because
74.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
Yeah,
70,
because there's a lot of
74.
good ones. Yeah, I think we could do that. 70 through
That might cut it
74.
down. That might cut it down a little bit because, like when we did the 60s, I mean
Yeah.
that was like all over the place.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
yeah, and I think what I had 80 honorable mentions or something on that. But
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll do it part one and part two. We could do
yeah,
70 through 74 and then 75 through 79, the next
yeah,
one. Okay.
yeah. I mean, there's no other special events coming up, right?
No, not really. Not for a while. I think there's not anything of note really coming out until October, November, probably.
Yeah, and you know what? If we do horror, maybe table it for Halloween time.
Good idea. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we could do actually our next 2 weeks in a row, the 70s.
Right. And Thanksgiving time, we'll table turkey movies, Thanksgiving movies.
How many Thanksgiving movies are there, though? Or do you
Uh,
think there's a lot?
there's more than you think there is.
All right.
I mean, I know which one you have in mind,
Yeah, of course.
but there's a lot of other ones too.
All right. All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Next week, 70 through 74.
Yes.
This will be good. I've got some ideas already. All right. Well, good list.
And
And
it's still before you were born.
that's right. Yep. Yep. 78 was the year
I
that
know.
the fourth that became alive. All right. Well, I'll see you on the next one. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.